Friends of Islam, this time Islamic circles are in front of you again to share Islamic information, hopefully going to inspire your activities today. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the bell button notification, so not to miss the latest news from the Islamic Circles music channel. Hey, Aaresat is a sacred stone. What is Hajar Aswad? Located in the eastern corner of the cute-shaped building known as the Kaaba, the stone has a long history and is an object of admiration for scholars around the world. The Hajar Aswad stone has also invited debate and speculation about its origins for centuries. Secular historians claim that the Hajar Aswad is a stone that fell from outer space. Meanwhile, many geologists around the world have tried to study the type and nature of this stone in an attempt to find out more about the scientific nature of Hajar Aswad. Some of the world's leading researchers have also conducted in-depth studies to research the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone. Well, in this video we will explore the scientific studies that researchers have conducted in search of answers about the mysterious origins of this stone, so that we can gain a deeper understanding of this phenomenon, as the Hajar Aswad stone continues to be a mystery to this day. Here's the video. Hajar Aswad history. Hajar Aswad has a long history and myths, making it a very important stone in the development of Islam. From the time of Prophet Abraham to the time of Prophet Muhammad, Hajar Aswad is believed to be a stone from heaven that was brought by Prophet Adam when he descended to earth. Over time, the Hajar Aswad stone deteriorated and was broken into several pieces in medieval times. However, the pieces of the black stone were later put together and inserted into a silver frame fastened to a stone. Historically, the Hajar Aswad stone has undergone color changes according to a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. He said, a black stone came down from heaven and it was whiter than milk, but the sins of the sons of Adam turned it black. In this understanding, the black color of Hajar Aswad is believed to be a reflection of the sins of all humanity. The government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has even unveiled a 49,000 megapixel high-resolution photo of the Hajar Aswad. This picture enables every person to vividly view all the aspects of this sacred stone found in the gigantic mosque. There are 8 groups of Hajar Aswad that are tied on a large stone and held by silver, but then there is some scatters of Hajar Aswad that was reported to be in East and Dare, Turkey, and among them lies the Sanya Grand Mosque. Besides these two places, pieces of Hajar Aswad in England. It so happens that other pieces of Hajar Aswad are in one of the museums in England. Why are the pieces of Hajar Aswad in England? Here are the facts. The process of taking the chunks started when some scientists read the news about the virtues and wonders of the Hajar Aswad stone. In the UK, there are 3 pieces of Hajar Aswad which are kept for research purposes as a very special stone and sacred to Muslims. The Hajar Aswad stone has always attracted public interest, especially researchers in the field of geology. Over time, various experts have conducted research to seek a deeper understanding of the physical characteristics of the Hajar Aswad stone. They also wanted to understand the geological processes that may have been involved in the formation of this stone. Of course, among researchers there are many different views and opinions about Hajar Aswad. One of the researchers, Richard Burden, finally pronounced the creed after doing extensive research on the stone. In the research on the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone, one of the hypotheses proposed was that the stone came from a meteorite. This view is based on a catalogue of metes compiled by G.T. Pryor, who categorized the Hajar Aswad stone as an Aali or Sidli, a type of mite rich in iron and silicates. Pryor argues that the Hajar Aswad stone is an aerolite meteorite, a meteorite that is more like an ordinary stone and is not dominated by iron and nickel, as is the case with merites that we commonly know. Anthony Hampton and a team of was Hajar Aswad, a meteorite geologists from the University of Oxford, also studied the local chili sauce collected from where the Hajar Aswad stone is located. They found rare amounts of iridium and cone fragments in the samples. The rare geological find, which is known to have formed in the bedrock beneath a meteorite impact crater, was discovered by Paul Parch, a curator of mineral stones during the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, who published the first comprehensive report on black stone in 1857, in which he suspected that the Hajar Aswad stone was a fragment of meteorite that fragmented about 6,000 years ago. However, this hypothesis has been the subject of tremendous debate, as there are discoveries that state that the Hajar Aswad stone has the property of floating in water. This is contrary to the characteristics of metes in general, which have high density, so they will sink if put into water. In 950, the governor of Mecca, Abdullah ibn tested the stones suspected to be the Hajar Aswad stones stolen by the Azia Kamea SE 22 years earlier, and found that they could indeed float in water. This discovery broke the view that Hajar Aswad was a meteorite. In addition, all scientists have not found meteorite rocks with the same characteristics as the Hajar Aswad stone, so this stone cannot be definitely attributed to a meteorite. Nonetheless, this hypothesis remains one of the viewpoints in the research on the Hajar Aswad stone, and researchers continue to study the properties and characteristics of the stone to gain a clearer understanding of its origin. Another hypothesis that has been proposed in research on the origin of the Hajar Aswad stone is that it is a volcanic rock, specifically PMUS. These rocks are formed from was Hajar Aswad, a volcanoid, volcanic eruptions that produce magma with a composition rich in silicon, CO2, or acid house rocks. Acid house rocks are generally light or bright in color as opposed to dark wet house rocks. A study conducted by the United States Geological Survey said Hajar Aswad is probably obsidian from a lava flow common in one of the Hajar volcanoes volcanic fields found on the western Arabian coast. Meanwhile, researchers Robert S. Dietz and John M. Kahn from the Department of Geology at the University of Illinois in the United States said HEDGRSAD is not derived from meteorite rock. What is a ringstone, which is one of the minerals formed in the earth? He said diffusion bands and other physical appearances indicate that it is agate. In this context, some scientists note that the Hira Aswad stone has similarities with PMUS. Pumice rock generally has a light or bright color and is mostly composed of cores that result in a very low density, less than 1 g per cc. This phenomenon is in line with reports that the Hira Awad stone can float in water. Puma stones are generally formed in violent explosive eruptions with an eruption scale equal to or greater than 5 volts, one of the characteristics of which is to produce a caldera. Such volcanoes are common in Indonesia, so it is not surprising that pist appeared in the 1883 Katau eruption or the 1815 Tambora music eruption. However, there are challenges attributing the Hajaras W. the pumice in the context of the geology of the Arabian Peninsula. Volcanism in the area generally produces wet ouse rocks, not acidic ouse rocks that produce PMUS. Volcanoes in the Arabian Peninsula fall under the category of basaltic volcanoes, which emit dilute basaltic magma and tend to build wide volcanoes with low conical peaks. In this case, it is quite challenging to connect the dots between the Hjar Aswad stone and the volcanic rocks of the Arabian Peninsula, though calderas can be found in some regions such as Julma. These calderas were created approximately 580 million years ago and they are way too old to have yielded PMUS, hence the chances that the Hawar Aswad stone is a ring stone or even a volcanic rock becomes less supportive. In this study, volcanism in the Arabian Peninsula did not produce significant PMUS and there is no evidence to support the existence of explosive eruptions on a scale large enough to form PMUS like the Hudar Aswad stone. Therefore, although the volcanic rock hypothesis has been proposed to link Khar Aswad to Pumice in the geological context of the Arabu Peninsula, it is still difficult to confirm. Further research is needed to better understand the origin and physical characteristics of this sacred stone. Some scientists say it is the oldest rock in the world, although it is not known exactly how old it is. In general, scientists can determine the age of rocks through carbonization and lead techniques for fossils, the age of the subsoil and other related matters, but in fact there is no parameter that can explain how old the Hajar Awad stone is. Another fact is that no one has ever found a rock like the Hajar Aswad stone, so it can be concluded that this rock is not from the earth but also not a fragment of a meteor rock. This is because its density is very different from that of any other rock in the universe. In an effort to find a better answer about the origin of the Har Aswad stone, another hypothesis emerged stating that this rock may be a type of impactite. Impactite is a rock formed by the collision of celestial bodies at very high speeds and with enormous energy. A Swedish geologist and paleontologist named Elsebeth Thompson from the University of Copenhagen expressed her views on Har Aswad. Thompson emphatically stated that Har Aswad is not a meteorite but an impactite on the mainland of Saudi Arabia. The product of the impact, more commonly called impactite, can be found at the location of a WBER meter crater about 550 kilometers southeast of the city of Riyadh. He explained the Wahar structure were rocks similar to HJARS. Water found generally consists of white glass blocks containing silicon. Some parts even have blackish sheets. Thompson's conclusion theory is quite interesting as it matches the description in a hadith that describes Har Aswad as a stone whiter than milk. The impactite has a hollow structure which can cause gas to be trapped inside the rock, allowing it to float in water. This is consistent with experiments showing the floating properties of the Har Aswad stone. However, upon further analysis, Thompson's hypothesis was disproved by the finding that the waver structure was formed in 1704, just a few centuries ago. This is much younger than the mass construction of the Kaaba, which took place about 40 centuries ago. Therefore, it is difficult to associate Har Aswad with the Wilbur structure. It can thus be concluded that the Hawar Atad stone is neither a meteorite nor a volcanic stone nor an impactite. Although several studies have been conducted, the mystery of the origin of Har Aswad still remains an interesting topic of research. However, what is clear is that Hajar Awad is a stone that has sacred value in Islam. Prophet Muhammad himself honored the stone by kissing it. This shows how important it is to respect the religious values represented by the Har Aswad stone. In confusion and uncertainty of science, it's very important that the Muslim must retain this dignity and privilege of Hajar Aswad stone. Here Aswad is still an icon, symbolizing a holy man in his life. It portrays purity and servitude. That's to the journey in Muslim. We hope this video may help all of us. Thank